So you know how we like to do these deep dives?
Yeah.
We take something complex like this article you guys sent over and we really break it down.
Yeah, totally. Like, get to the heart of it.
Exactly. And this one is well, it's a doozy. It's called From Collapse to Legacy, The Future of Energy, The Death of the American Entrepreneur and Parallel Systems by Christopher Stubbs.
Catchy title.
It is. And you know what else is catchy? Stubbs' main idea, this idea that we're in this controlled decay of like everything. And he's saying we got to build these independent parallel economies to like survive and build something that lasts, legacy and all that.
Yeah, pretty bold claim.
Right. So we're going to dive into all that, his take on what's happening now, what these parallel economies even are, the whole private energy thing, and how he's like redefining what it means to be an entrepreneur these days.
Sounds like a plan.
It does. So Stubbs comes out swinging right off the bat. He says flat out, you're not preparing for collapse. You're living in it. And he doesn't mean like some far-off apocalypse. He thinks it's happening right now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not pulling any punches.
Not at all.
Right.
And he's got some pretty strong evidence to back it up. Like he talks about how messed up the currency is and how the energy grid is like held together with duct tape and prayers practically.
And don't forget what he says about like regular business owners struggling with all the red tape and what he calls fake opportunity.
Oh, yeah, totally. He's basically saying the system is rigged against them.
Yeah, and the thing is, he doesn't see all this as just like random bad luck or whatever. He frames it as controlled decay, like it's all part of some bigger plan.
Whoa, that's kind of spooky. But it also makes you think, right?
For sure. So to deal with all this doom and gloom, he proposes this idea of parallel economies. And it's not just some vague concept either. He gets pretty specific.
Okay, so break it down for us. What do these parallel economies actually look like?
Well, he describes them as land-first, energy-backed, people-powered enterprises that answer to no central authority. Basically like self-sufficient communities that don't rely on the traditional systems that he says are failing.
So like off-the-grid living, but on a much larger scale.
Exactly. And he's not saying this is like some fun experiment. It's straight up survival in his view.
Wow. Okay, so how do we even start building these parallel economies?
Well, Stubbs says the foundation is private energy, like being able to power your own land and life without relying on the grid.
Makes sense. What kind of energy sources are we talking about here?
He mentions oil, solar, and even like these hybrid microgrids that combine different sources.
Interesting. So basically anything that lets you be energy independent.
Exactly. And he gets really specific with this example of reclaiming oil in South Carolina through like private leases and wells. He sees it as a way to take back control.
Privately held freedom, he calls it.
Yeah, powerful stuff. So now let's talk about how he sees entrepreneurship in all of this, because it's pretty different from the whole Silicon Valley startup thing.
Yeah, he pretty much throws that whole model out the window, doesn't he? He even says entrepreneurship today isn't innovation, it's survival through creation.
Yeah, he's basically saying that in this new world, you're not building a business to get rich or disrupt an industry. You're building it to survive.
So it's less about fancy apps and more about providing essential goods and services.
Exactly. And he's also not a fan of the whole brand building obsession. He talks about building legacies instead.
Interesting. What's the difference?
Well, he says legacies are built on things like roster-style teams with people who are adaptable and can wear multiple hats, real leadership that's focused on guiding and inspiring, not just managing, and structure, meaning they're built to last not just for a quick exit.
So it's all about long-term thinking and sustainability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, stop chasing trends and build something with real value.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So in a way, he's saying this collapse that he sees happening isn't the end. It's like a chance to rebuild and create something better.
Yeah, he even calls it a clearing, like a forest fire that makes way for new growth.
Deep, but he doesn't leave us hanging. He gives us a call to action, right?
Totally. His burn the old blueprint and build something permanent.
Wow. All right. So just to recap, we've got Stubbs's pretty grim diagnosis of like systemic collapse, right? Then there's his solution, building these self-sufficient parallel economies with private energy at their core. And he's saying, forget the whole traditional entrepreneur hustle. It's all about building legacies now. Yeah, pretty intense stuff.
It is. So it kind of makes you wonder, what other cracks are there in the systems we rely on? You know, things we take for granted. And if things really do go south, what would it actually take to build those alternative systems? The ones that could make us truly independent, like Stubbs talks about.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot to think about. So thanks for diving in with us on this one.
Anytime this was a good one.
I know, right? Until next time.
See ya.